Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
Okay, Neal, what do you think of these preemptive pardons? Is this a good idea for President Biden and his team to do potentially?
So, Jen, there's a legal answer and then there's a pragmatic answer. The legal answer is it's absolutely okay. The Supreme Court in 1866 in the Garland case said that the president's pardon power is unlimited and that it extends to anything, including action pardons before legal proceedings are taken. So there's a clear precedent on that. Now, the pragmatic question is more difficult. I'm not a fan of using pardons in this way generally, but here it's an understandable act given what Donald Trump's nominees to the Justice Department have said they wanted to do. I mean, ordinarily, I trust the system, but these nominees are saying in their own words, they want to break the system. And, you know, as you saw in government, as Andrew saw, as I saw, the best thing about serving in government is you see nonpartisan expert decision making. It's awesome. It's inspiring. The last thing you want is for those folks to be afraid. And the other thing I'd say is, look, people are saying these will be political pardons or something like that. Just think about what Donald Trump did the last time he was in office. These aren't the first politically overtoned pardons. I mean, he pardoned Steve Bannon. He pardoned Dinesh D'Souza. He pardoned Republican Congressman Rick Renzi. He pardoned Republican Congressman Duke Cunningham. He pardoned Elliot Brody, who was, the RNC finance chair. He commuted Roger Stone's sentence. We could go on and on.
Probably already talked about the 45-minute little Lollapalooza that Trump had last night. And he talked about pardoning January 6 defendants and going after his enemies and lies about tariffs. And really, when you push on it, lies underlie everything. And we're really at a critical moment, it seems to me, where he's now going after the FBI and the military, and there aren't that many guardrails you can really point to. And man, oh man, the press has to be one of them. And when you're the LA, my former paper, it's just more and more wanting to be the very words fair and balanced.
Yeah.
And there's no balance here. There's a side that's talking truth and democratic values, et cetera, and there's a side that's lying about it. That's media can't make it their role to sort of say on the one hand, on the other hand. There is no other hand here. I really do think we're in a bad spot where we can't even agree on facts. And just one more quick thing, which is nobody suggests that it was, a reconsideration of his immigration policies or anything. Both the Washington Post, and the Times just flinched at the last minute. He made two of the biggest papers in the country stand down before he's even taken office, man. That's terrifying.
Yeah. By the way, we have something in common. I also quit my LA Times column, but it's only because I was too lazy to write one anymore. So those are really a principled stand.
How did I not know that you had an
I had a humor column in the 90s.
Did you really?
Yeah, I quit. I'm lazy. Huh. I don't think laziness is the same thing as courage. Okay. You said the role and responsibility of the media have never been greater. Thank you. And if major outlets can be bought off and made to cower, the impact on our liberty and freedom of thought is in grave jeopardy. And you talked about this. The owner of the LA Times went on Fox News after the election to saying he wanted to make Times more fair and balanced. If that isn't a pander to Fox News, as you pointed out.
Right.
And you said he spiked, an endorsement of Kamala Harris that was already written. You said, first, the idea of balance is fundamentally misplaced. On one side of the balance is a sociopathic liar like Donald Trump. The media has struggled for years to figure out how to call out Trump's incessant lies. He did it again yesterday with Kristen Welker, lied and lied and lied. It's just... The people who voted for Trump were fed a relentless false amount of issue after issue, including Trump's signature distortions about immigrants eating pets, committing a disproportionate number of violent crimes, which Fox News and right-wing social media parroted relentlessly. I'm not the only one, Harry, that is saying that was the major element is disinformation in this campaign. Right?
It's so true, right? I mean, that's part. Historians will be puzzling it out. But if you were in the right-wing media ecosystem, really, you were fed lie after lie after lie, and that does seem to have been the sort of engine of his victory. Okay, so we're in a really rough spot now, but for starters, the free press, if it doesn't play its indispensable role, compare like I think we're way past where we were in Watergate, as David Frum has put it. But man, look what the press did then, how it stood up, and other kinds of crises. You haven't when you look at all the guardrails he's somehow mowing down in real time. He hasn't even taken office yet, and for media to be saying, we want the paper's owner is now instituting an AI system supposedly that will just measure balance, which I think means you can tabulate people's views, but the truth is the truth, and everybody knows the truth. The LA Times knows the truth. Fox knows the truth. MSNBC, CNN. And man, how you can depart from that again with nobody is saying that, it turns out he's saying the truth, right?
And by the way, I love how you put it. You said there is no on the other hand. Trump is an inveterate liar, and journalists have a defining responsibility to call that out. These are not normal times. Look around. We're in a political, cultural, and legal fight of our lifetimes. And you just said no time. It's no time for neutrality and disinterest. It's rather a time for choosing, and a choice for true facts and American values is a necessarily vigorous choice against Donald Trump. And by the way, you wrote all this on your Substack, which that's the other thing, as you were saying, nobody's reading newspapers anymore anyway. So keep doing your vital work. Please follow and, Harry, and read his Substack. You have a fantastic podcast, Talking Feds. Yep. I think that's what we're finding in this information ecosystem, Harry, is we've got to get the information out there in other ways, and you don't have to be dependent on the LA Times or Washington Post or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really am staking it for the future now. I want it like everyone else, like you. What the hell do we do now? And I'm trying to get news and ideas to people in the way that it seems they receive it if they're under 70. We got a YouTube channel now and a Substack, and that's right. That's where I put it out. I was kind of stunned and really gratified. Man, oh man, it was just a Substack entry, but it got around for sure. Yeah, much more than a cable show would have.
Well, because that's what people want right now is courage. They want to, you're one of the leaders people are going to follow here, thought leaders and legal leaders and others. I mean, just let me finish your little. Just so many of your things like jumped out at me. You just said the conscious pattern of détente with Trump has in fact recast the paper's core identity to one of appeasement with an authoritarian madman, and I am loath to affiliate with that identity in any way. And you closed with your quoting your former editorial editor saying, "I want to make clear I'm not okay with us being silent. In dangerous times, honest people need to stand up. This is how I'm standing up." I don't know if because I know you're on MSNBC. I don't know if you want to check in on the Joe and Mika
That's
David Frum thing.
On the West Coast. Right. Yeah.
But I mean, that's why people are reacting to that kind of cowardice. And David Frum was dead on in everything he wrote. We're all afraid in certain ways. Like I was saying, my friend.
I have friends who are really afraid of there'll be all of a sudden tax audits and the like. But the main thing is, we were really reeling after the election because how could obviously 50% of America didn't care that much about it. But if you look at the landscape, man, it's a serious thing. So I feel like, we're canaries in the coal mine or whatever you call it. But it's really foreboding. The guy hasn't even taken office yet, and yesterday he wants to pardon the people we saw, the most violent perpetrators on officers and officials, but also the Capitol in real time. He wants to convert them to patriots and real,
and everything he said echoes what Kash Patel has said, what Pam Bondi has said. Is yes, they are going to prosecute everybody, all his political enemies. You said recently, papers have such an important role to play now. Trump has captured the political or maybe the Supreme Court, and he's now going after the FBI, potentially the military, and really they're one of the few institutions to be able to stand up and push back, and it's in their finest tradition. Trump has made clear he'll go after them. That's an absolute 5-alarm fire. Thank you.
That was my main reason for doing it. The other things were like I felt personally, but that's what the hell's going on. And man, it sucks.
Yeah, you said it's not the time for balance when you have someone who is not telling the truth on the other side. You said it's a deep responsibility. Instead, they cowered. They're worried about their personal holdings and just being threatened by Trump, and that's really a shameful capitulation. And you just said you couldn't be a part of it, and good for you. I mean, I have to get your take on, my friend Adam Schiff. I was just texting with him actually last week, and, I understand him not wanting to take a pardon because he did nothing wrong. Like Liz Cheney and everybody else. But, Harry, I almost feel like not everybody has $350,000 to get defense lawyers. And, so I don't know what your take is on whether some people, if they take pardons, shouldn't be judged for it because, based on every available evidence, Donald Trump is going to go after people.
It sure looks like it, right? And this is super complicated. It's Biden's last chance to do anything. It will set up a kind of soundbite argument of parity. But you're right. I always start with truth versus lies in the Trump world. And you've got a group of people who've done nothing wrong. And then you have a group of people who that he's going to pardon who have done, really serious crimes against the rule of law. But that's, how do you defend, especially once he's in office, really basically the truth? It's a tough one for Biden, I think. And the short answer is I can understand why people like Schiff would say no, thank you. But that's you don't have to say yes, please. You can just be quiet, and then if the knock on the door comes from the Patel FBI, then you can proffer that little piece of paper that Biden had on leaving office. But come January, he says at January 20th, he's going to right away pardon the generous defense for that. He's not joking around, and it really looks like he's going to come out with a head of steam doing everything he says. It's a grave moment.
Harry, I can't imagine someone like you that's dedicated your life to the law, a court of law where facts matter, truth matters, evidence matters. This latest, reporting this weekend about Trump's transition team giving this loyalty test to people applying. And they're asked what they thought about the events of January 6th and whether they believe the 2020 election was stolen. The sense they got was there was only one right answer to each question. They note among those being interviewed were applicants who said they gave what they intuited to be the wrong answer, either decrying the violence at the Capitol on January 6th or saying President Biden won in 2020. The answers were met with silence and the taking of notes. They did not get the jobs.
That's not unsubtle, is it? I mean, Kristen Welker asked him, are you now ready to say you lost the 2020 election? His answer, no, why should I? There really is this strange plank of his agenda of somehow rewriting history or covering up what we don't know already. Again, at bottom, it's about truth versus lies.
I'm here with the incredibly handsome Dr. David Silverman to talk about ASEA Renew that I am holding in my hand. This stuff is amazing. Revitalizing Redox Gel. You hold up, you have you can it comes in drink form, and this is the gel form. I love, first of all, that supermodel Carol Alt will be promoting this. She's taken so many jobs from me, so I am so happy.
Just to give some context, because I have to tell you that this is very unique. It's not a pharmaceutical, it's not a nutritional product. It's something that our cells make. It's called redox signaling molecules. But bottom line is, our cells make redox signaling molecules. Your body makes it right now, but we all made more of it when we were younger. What's in this bottle is in you. It's in me, right? But I'll be 64 in 2 weeks, and I feel like I'm 30 years old. I've been drinking this for 13 years.
Wow. Doc, what a thrill to meet you and to hear more about this, because, it's you just kind of go, oh, it works, but to hear about the why is fascinating to me. Dr. David Silverman, what a joy and a pleasure, and thank you so much.